The Namekian Piccolo was brought to us in Dragon Ball as the reincarnation of the evil demon king Piccolo, and in time he once again becomes the nameless Namekian. He is a powerful warrior who is one of the smartest of the Z fighters, and a character I have always been sad that got pushed to be such a side character. So today I thought it would be fun to show him some love and go through some of the top Piccolo moments. Number 5, the Special Beam Cannon versus Raditz. For those of you who have never watched Dragon Ball, the meaning behind this moment may be a little lost on you. But at the end of Dragon Ball, Goku and Piccolo have an epic battle where Goku comes out victorious. It ends with, despite receiving a Senzu beam from Goku, Piccolo vowing to defeat him in the future. Then we cut to Dragon Ball Z, and the first thing that happens is these two great enemies team up, and this is to defeat that invader from another planet. Albeit this is just because Piccolo thinks that Raditz is another threat to his plans for world domination. In the end, the two manage to defeat Raditz as Goku sacrifices himself so that Piccolo can use his new secret technique, and this is a very powerful move called the Special Beam Cannon, or also the Makan Sapao. Now, there's a good chance I said that one wrong, but I will put the text on the screen so you at least know how it is spelled. But anyway, it's a great moment because it shows the kind of training Piccolo has been doing by trying to invent new, powerful techniques for the sole purpose of killing Goku, which it does, and it does it while looking pretty damn cool too. So let's move on to number 4, Piccolo vs Second Form Frieza.
Didn't I say I'd take care of Frieza?
You disgust me.
Gohan, Krillin and Bulma are on Namek, and Piccolo has been training with King Kai in the Otherworld. With the help of the Namekian Dragon Balls, he is brought back to life and to the planet Namek itself. When he arrives, he comes across the beaten body of the most powerful Namekian on the planet, Nail. The two merge, and this gives Piccolo an incredible power boost. Piccolo is full of confidence and challenges Frieza head-on. The battle is a great one, but in the end Frieza reveals that he is still not using his full power, so he transforms into his third form and at this point becomes too much for Piccolo. But it just shows that by forcing Frieza to transform again, this really gives you the idea of just how strong Piccolo had become. So, despite Piccolo coming close to death, he really did show his power. And this also gave us another one of the underrated fights of Dragon Ball Z.
Oh, by the way, you cow-headed clown, I'm only getting warmed up.
So moving on to number 3. Piccolo vs Goku at the 23rd Tenkaichi Budokai. King Piccolo had been defeated by Goku, but before his death, he spat out an egg, and this contained his own child, or more closely, his reincarnation. This being would become the Piccolo that we meet and grow up with through Dragon Ball Z and later. But these actions took place in Dragon Ball, and it is here when Piccolo enters the 23rd World Martial Arts Tournament that one of his greatest moments happen. Piccolo knew Goku would be entering and knew getting him in the ring could be the best way to kill him, with him then carrying on his father's dream of world domination. Before fighting Goku, Piccolo comes up against Krillin, but he is far too powerful for Goku's best friend. He then defeats a disguised Kami in the next round, after he manages to reflect an evil containment wave attempt, which then proceeds to capture Kami himself, with then Piccolo also swallowing the jar containing Kami, meaning that Piccolo now has the chance to fight Goku in the final. The battle is one of great back and forth moments, new techniques being shown, and just a general example of how an anime fight can be done right. In the end though, Goku just about comes out on top, and even shows mercy to Piccolo by giving him a Senzu bean afterwards. Not that this changes how Piccolo feels towards him, at least for now. Still, despite being more evil at this stage, this fight is still a great example of just how powerful a being Piccolo has the potential of becoming. So with that, let's move on to number 2. Piccolo's sacrifice to save Gohan. Piccolo has just killed Goku, He by no means did this just to bring down Raditz for the good of the Earth though. He wanted world domination, and these two Saiyan brothers that stood in front of him were both hindrances to that. So, when he then also learns of two more powerful Saiyans that will be making their way to Earth, he takes Gohan to train him due to the incredible potential the kid has shown. But he has not done this to be a good friend and to honour the life of Goku. Not even close. He has not shown a hint of redemption just yet. However, that does change in time. Gohan seems to break him down bit by bit though, grows a strong bond with him, and Piccolo starts to have a change of heart that even Kami can start to notice. But then we fast forward to the arrival of Nappa and Vegeta. Goku has not yet returned from Otherworld, so it is up to the other Z fighters to hold them off. Nappa comes to try and launch a powerful energy beam at Gohan, and this is where Piccolo shows that he has truly changed. He throws himself at full speed in front of Gohan, protecting the child of his once greatest enemy that he is now bonded with, and he sacrifices his own life to save the life of Gohan. A truly great moment for our Namekian. And with this, as I like to always do, we have to now mention a couple of honourable mentions that just missed out on this list. Piccolo is such a great character, and that is through him being a great enemy in Dragon Ball, and a great character in general in Z, to all the way through to what we see of him in Super and GT. So, this now brings me to the first moment of Piccolo's choice of dying with Earth in GT. Now today is not that day for the debate about Dragon Ball GT, but this has to be one of his best moments. This is another moment of sacrifice for Piccolo, knowing his decision will turn the Black Star Dragon Balls to stone, even though this most likely also means that he becomes stuck in hell for eternity too. Piccolo does like a bit of a sacrifice, to be fair.
Sometimes we have to look beyond what we want and do what's best.
Another moment kind of links into my number 2 on my list, so it doesn't really deserve its own spot, but is worth a mention here, and that is his choosing to even train Gohan in the first place. This decision all comes together with his sacrifice in the end though, but that general bonding and training that leads up to this is really a time that deserves its own mention, not just for that end sacrifice. This is truly what starts the change in Piccolo.
Okay, Mr. Piccolo, I guess I'm ready. So, what happens now?
And then lastly for our honourable mentions is Piccolo's fight with First Form Cell. Piccolo feigns the severity of his injury to trick information out of Cell, and this becomes so important to the Z fighters later on. His smarts are often what can put him above his opponents, and this is just one time that highlights that. It can be seen as the same as the way he stalls Majin Buu later on the Lookout in the Buu Saga. But as for Cell, the fight in itself is also a really good one, but the decisions that he makes is what highlights Piccolo as a character. But now, with those covered, let's move on to our number 1 moment. Piccolo vs Android 17. Now we reach our top moment on this list. I wouldn't say that there is a clear winner for the top spot here, but for my list at least today, I am going for Piccolo's greatest moment being the time he fights Android 17. Since the end of the Frieza saga and the introduction of the Super Saiyans, these non-Saiyan characters were already starting to fall further behind in terms of power and really just usefulness to the story. That is, until Piccolo steps up. The Z fighters had been training for 3 years for the arrival of the androids, and they had already dealt with Android 19. That is, before realizing that these were not the main androids that they had been waiting for. This is where we then meet androids 16, 17, and 18. But not just these, as we also come to meet Cell, who, above all the others, is there to be Dr. Gero's greatest invention ever. So in time, Piccolo does meet Cell, where he learns that he needs Android 17 and 18 to become perfect. So what does he need to do here? Well, kill those androids to stop Cell transforming. But oh yeah, what has just happened just before this encounter? Well, Piccolo has been easily defeated by Android 17 on his own with little effort. Piccolo realizes from all this that he just has one option, and without telling the others why, he flies to the Lookout. He and Kami come to fuse and become whole again, albeit this is after some time because Kami really needs to confirm that this is the right thing to do. But in the end, it does happen and the nameless Namekian has returned. again, although he really does just stay as Piccolo. So first from here, he heads to Gingertown where he has that meeting with Cell I mentioned a moment ago, and then after Cell escapes using the solar flare technique, Piccolo makes his way to Kame House, where here, the androids end up arriving looking for Goku, and Piccolo realizes here too that this is his time to take them out. So he challenges Android 17 to a fight, and this is where one of the greatest fights in Dragon Ball Z takes place. You cannot even call this an underrated or underappreciated fight anymore, as I feel most people really do see how good of a fight it is. After all, Android 17 and Piccolo at this point in time are very even in strength, but Piccolo knows that 70's energy will not run out like his own, so he needs to outsmart his opponent. We see him use his regeneration ability, a variety of energy attacks, and even get to see the first use of the Hal Zone grenade move. But before a victor can come out on top, Cell arrives and stops the battle. So there we have it, a look at Piccolo's top 5 greatest moments in Dragon Ball. You may notice most of these come earlier on, as sadly Piccolo does become more and more of a side character as the story progresses. Piccolo is a character I've always loved, and his and Gohan's relationship is always one I like to see on screen. Although there are those memes about Piccolo being like Gohan's real father, personally I see them more like being very close brothers in terms of their relationship. But that may just be me. I would love to hear what all of you think about this though, and my list in general. Would you change the order of any of my entries on the list, or would you perhaps swap any of them out for a completely different one? I could have well just forgotten something completely obvious about Piccolo that should have been included. So I would love to know all of your thoughts and opinions in the comment section below. So now that we are here at the end of the video, I would ask you all, if you are enjoying the content, then please do all the great things that YouTubers ask you to do. Like, share, and subscribe if you really are enjoying what you see. And now I will leave you all with a massive thank you if you have managed to reach the very end of this video with me today, and I will see you next time on History of Dragon Ball.